The story of the prophet Jacob wrestling with a man of supernatural strength, which is in both Torah and Bible, has captured readers' attention for centuries. Who is the mysterious man who struggles with Jacob before he finally blesses him? Some believe that Archangel Phanuel is the man the passage describes, but other scholars say the man is actually the angel of the Lord, a manifestation of God himself before his incarnation later in history. This is surely one of the most amazing and yet very complex texts within the scriptures. This is Jacob's last night on his own on this side of the place. But notice that Jacob wrestled with a man until daybreak. Notice that when Jacob was wrestling with the man, his hip was dislocated. This was to be a permanent reminder to him of this occasion, kind of like Paul's thorn in the flesh, 2 Corinthians 12, 8-9. Despite having a dislocated hip, Jacob doesn't give up and continues to wrestle with the very person he wanted a blessing for. Jacob is determined not to let go of the man. He openly admits his name is Jacob, which means deceiver, and because he wouldn't give up his name, was changed to Israel, which means he struggles with God. A name change usually signifies a change of identity and character. When his name is mentioned as Jacob from now on, this is an indication that he's returning to his old self. When his name is mentioned as Israel from now on, this is an indication that his mind is set on God. I'm sure we've all had times when we struggle in prayer with God to bless us or others around us. Jacob didn't know exactly who he was struggling with, whether it an angel of God in the flesh, but he does name the place, Peniel, which means face of God. He possibly named it this because he didn't know the man's name. This is the first memory from God to Jacob. Not only was his hip dislocated in order for him to remember the occasion, it is dislocated to remind him that this whole wrestling match was real and not some kind of dream of vision. Notice that Jacob now had a limp. This is the second constant reminder from God. The tendon would not be touched. Who is this man? Some believe it was God in human form, the Son of God, and others believe it was an angel. Let's break the text down and look at these two possibilities, and then you can make up your own mind. Notice that although Jacob asked for name, the man didn't give him one. It seems that Jacob came to the conclusion that the man he wrestled with was actually God because this man knew everything about his past and because he damaged his hip joint with a single touch. In the womb, he grasped his brother's heel. As a man, he struggled with God. He struggled with the angel and overcame him. He wept and begged for his favor. He found him at Bethel and talked with him there. The Lord God Almighty, the Lord is his name. Hosea 12, 3-5. Now notice the parallels here. Jacob struggled with God, but he struggled with the angel. The way to understand this passage is possibly by reminding ourselves that the word angel means a messenger. As an angel, he is a representative of God, which would mean that Jacob wrestled with God's representative, and therefore he wrestled with God. When we go back to the Genesis account, we see that Jacob wanted a blessing from the man and wanted to know the man's name. He received the blessing, but not the name. However, Hosea said that Jacob received the blessing, but found the name of his benefactor in Bethel, and it was there. It was revealed that the blessing came from the Lord God of hosts, Genesis 35:9-15, and Hosea 12:3-5. It's because of these parallels that many people believe that Jacob wrestled with the being known as the angel of the Lord. It's certainly possible that this is God, the Son who interacted with men in the form of an angel. Notice again, Hosea says he was an angel, Hosea 12:4, and he was God, Hosea 12:3. It's possible that Hosea 12:5 is a later answer to Jacob's question. The Lord is his name. So it's reasonably possible to believe that Jacob wrestled with God in the form of a man. This is one of those areas where we may never come to a definite answer. In the grand scale of things, it doesn't really matter who this person was who was wrestling with Jacob. This is the turning point of Jacob's life. He wanted a blessing because he knew now that he needed God. The blessing was the passing of his old life and the coming of his new life. Before any of us can face our enemies, we must first of all face God. And thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button for our latest video updates.